Good day, Deep and Word family. Welcome to day 44 of our Bible study review. Today's chapter review is going to be Numbers 9 through 11. Chapter 9 opens up with the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai, and it says that this is the first month of the second year. Yahuah Elohim goes to Moses and he says, "Listen, all of you must keep the Passover feast within its appointed time." The appointed time every single year, still going on, y'all, is the 14th day of the first month. Again, no, we're not talking about January. That's a Babylonian calendar. Each year, you will find resources online about the biblical, ecclesiastical year. Follow up and see when the dates are for Passover. The true biblical new year begins in spring, always. That's our God's calendar. New life begins in spring. Everything buds forth and begins a new cycle in the spring, not in the dead of winter. Moving along, y'all, it says in verse 6 that there were two men who were made unclean by a dead body. They might have been burying one of their loved ones. But it says that they could not keep the Passover because they were unclean. So they came to Moses and they said, "Why are we being kept from bringing an offering? We want to celebrate the feast of Passover." So Mosheh, went to go speak to Yahuah Elohim about this matter. This is the father's response in verse 10. "If any man of you or your posterity is unclean because of a dead body or is far off on a journey, he will still keep the Passover of Yahuah." Verse 11. "The 14th day of the second month at evening they will keep it, and eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They will leave none of it till the morning, nor break any of its bones." So those who are not able to make aliyah for any specific reason during the appointed time during the first month, they have another chance to keep the feast during the second month on the 14th day. Verse 14, "If a stranger will sojourn among you and keep the Passover to Yahuah according to the ordinance of Passover and according to the manner of it, so he will do. You will have one ordinance, both for the resident alien and for the natural-born citizen of the land. One Torah for the natural olive tree and the wild olive tree who is grafted in." There's no separate set of rules. It says that on the day that the tabernacle was erected, it says that the pillar of cloud dwelt over the tabernacle. Whenever the pillar of cloud moved from the tabernacle, whether it was 2 days, 2 months, the children of Israel always moved with the presence of the Father. Let's close out the chapter with verse 23. "At the command of Yahuah they camped, and at the command of Yahuah they journeyed. They kept the charge of Yahuah at the command of Yahuah by the hand of Moses." Moses is the mediator of the original covenant, what most people call Old Testament. Messiah is the mediator of the new covenant, or the renewed covenant, which most people call the New Testament. That covenant can be found in Jeremiah 31:31. The Father speaks of the covenant that he will make with the house of Judah and with the house of Israel, and our Messiah is the one who mediates that covenant. As children of the Most High, you need to study to show yourself approved. You need to know where this renewed covenant comes from. It is from Jeremiah 31:31. The law is not done away with. You cannot argue Scripture. You cannot argue the Father's covenant. We open up chapter 10 and we see that Yahuah Elohim commands Moses to take silver and make 2 silver trumpets. When he is to blow both trumpets, then all of the camps of Israel are to assemble before the tent of meeting. But when they blow just one, it's just the leaders. They are to blow an alarm, something like when they are to go out to war. So 2 horns go off at the same time for everyone to assemble at the tent of meeting. 1 horn for just the leaders. And if it's time to get ready for war, they have to sound off the alarm. Let's read verses 8 and 9. "The sons of Aaron, the priests, will blow the trumpets, and they will be to you as an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, then you will blow an alarm with the trumpets, and you will be remembered before Yahuah, your Elohim, and you will be saved from your enemies." This is a picture of the Feast of Trumpets. At the Feast of Trumpets, you not only hear the ram's horn being blown once and twice, but you hear several soundings, those who are keeping the feast. But did you catch that in the text? It says that Yahuah Elohim will remember us when we blow the trumpet. Many of you may not understand, but this is spiritual warfare. You see, because when that last trumpet goes off, Satan and his camp, their time is up. Every single year we are rehearsing for that day to come. So in the spirit realm, the demons don't know. They fear every time they hear these trumpets going off that their time is up. When the enemy and his minions are getting on my last nerve, when they tap dance on my nerves, guess what? I get in my car and I bring my ram's horn and I blow it. I don't care how crazy I look. I understand how things work in the spirit. So when they agitate me, I agitate them. You can find one of these on Amazon. This one came straight from Israel. If you don't have one and you are ready to war in the spirit around your community because you see too much wickedness is going on, check out this video in the description. You can play the sounding of the ram's horn from your car. Blast it loud and irritate those spirits who are irritating your communities. I'm just trying to educate and help the army get ready. We need to learn how to fight in the spirit because we do not war against flesh. Let's keep reading verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness and at your appointed days and in the beginning of your months, you shall blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be a memorial for you before your God. I am Yahuah, your Elohim. I've shared it with you before that at the beginning of each month, I blow this thing right here. And if you want to keep this command, but you don't have a trumpet, you don't have a ram's horn, check out that video. Play that video and declare the righteousness of your king and his kingdom that is coming. I say it all the time, y'all. This is a dress rehearsal for the real thing. We are practicing on a monthly basis. And during the Feast of Trumpets, we are declaring that the righteous kingdom will reign upon this earth. I'm so glad that the Father opened up my eyes to the beauty of his feasts. After this command, it says that the children left the wilderness of Sinai and went to the wilderness of Paran. Just take notice the order of formation in which they leave. They start with the tribe of Judah first, and the end of their marching order was with the tribe of Naphtali. Verse 33, they set out 3 days from the mountain of Yahuah, and the ark of the covenant of Yahuah went before them 3 days' journey to find a resting place for them. Verse 35, and it was when the ark set out that Moses said, Rise up, O Yahuah, and let your enemies be scattered, and let them who hate you flee before you. And when it rested, he said, Return, O Yahuah, to the multitude and thousands of Israel. Again, the Ark of the Covenant represented the Father's presence. Chapter 11 opens up and we see that the children of Israel, now that they're walking into uncharted territory, unfamiliar territory, they start complaining. Let's start reading in verse 4. The mixed multitude that was among them lusted, and the children of Israel wept again and said, Who will give us meat to eat? We remember the fish which we ate in Egypt for free. Stop. Do you see this is human nature? That when we start walking into unfamiliar territory, we start complaining because we're uncomfortable. But when Yahuah Elohim is going to do something in your life, he is not going to do something towards your comfort, because then you would get the glory. Many of us look like the children of Israel. We complain about how easy it was in our life of sin. But these things were not for free. We were already judged. We were condemned before the Father. The fact that they said we ate fish for free. No, honey, you built a whole nation for no compensation. The least you could be is fed. They kept complaining, saying, We remember the cucumber, the leeks, the onions. Verse 6, their complaining continues. But now our life is dried up. There is nothing at all except this manna before our eyes. Moses hears of their complaining, and so does Yahuah Elohim, and both of them are wroth. Moses goes to Yahuah Elohim and he says, Why have you placed the burden of these people upon me? He's like, Did I birth all of these people? Shall I be placed with the burden of feeding all of them myself? He goes, If this is the burden that you have placed upon me, he says, Put me out of my misery. Take the breath out of me. Moses says to Yahuah, I cannot bear the burden of these people alone. It is too burdensome. So Yahuah instructs Mosheh and he says, Gather me 70 elders, and the spirit that I have placed in you, I will also place upon them. He's about to give him the help that he needs. Verses 18 through 20. And say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat. For you have wept in the hearing of Yahuah, saying, who will give us meat to eat? For it was better for us in Egypt. Therefore Yahuah will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat not 1 day, or 2 days, or 5 days, or 10 days, or 20 days, but a whole month until it comes out of your nostrils. And it will be nauseating to you because you rejected Yahuah who is among you and have wept before him, saying, why did we come out of Egypt? Does this not sound like a lot of those who are self-proclaiming Christians, followers of Christ? The narrow path is too hard. It would just be easier if I returned back to my life of sin. I could enjoy the pleasures of the world then. Yeah, you could, but it will cost you your relationship with the divine creator. Moses responds to Yahuah and he says, all of the men among me, there are over 600,000 foot soldiers. How am I and the other elders going to feed all of them meat? Where are we going to get it from? Yahuah Elohim responds back. He says, is my hand waxed short? Is there anything too big for me? He's like, now stand and see and watch that I will do exactly what I said I will do. So Moses gathers the elders, and the spirit that is upon Moses, the wisdom to lead people, falls upon the elders. So Moses receives the help that he needs. Then we see that Yahuah Elohim makes a wind blow, and he brings quail among the children of Israel. Verse 33. While the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the anger of Yahuah burned against the people, and Yahuah struck the people with very great slaughter. And he called the name of that place Kibroth Hata'avah, because they buried the people who were craving. They were craving their past life of slavery, aka their past life of sin. And they were complaining against the one who redeemed them. The one who was providing food, water, bread. He gave them exactly what they wanted. And the moral of the story is, you can't enjoy a thing without the Creator. Do not complain about your salvation. What people enjoy in the here and now is so short-lived. Eternity lasts a whole lot longer. If you're going to invest in anything, invest in your future with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Be grateful, be thankful, and bring praises before Him for saving your soul from eternal separation from Him. Whatever your burden is, if it's too heavy to carry, enter His heavenly courtroom and ask Him for the help that you need, just like Moses did. If He called you out for His purposes, He's going to supply you with everything you need to stand. Many of the children of Yahuah Elohim have not because they ask not. Our strength is in Him. Y'all know I love you to pieces. That's all that I have for you today. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.